everyone, welcome back to a new video. In this video I'm going to show you how I create this panda nail. So the base of my nail is going to be, I want it to be a goldy colour, so I'm using hazel from Glam & Glitz. Just cover the whole nail in a thin layer of your colour and then cap it in clear acrylic. So I've filed and buffed it and I have top coated it. I've got a few other colours here. I've got black, white, green, and I think that's it. I want a pink. So take a bead of white, and it needs to be quite a big bead but not very wet. So drain out the excess liquid onto your towel and create his head. Just pat it out into an oval shape. Then taking your black, you're going to make 2 ears. So take smaller beads, pop them on each side of his head. I did change to my smaller brush. Just pat a little, just make them into a kind of half donut shape. Just so that they look like ears, teddy bear ears kind of thing, even though it's on a panda. So then you're going to do the same to the other side, give him his other ear. Again, pat it out into a half circle and then poke a hole in the middle to make it like a half donut. Now we're going to do the patches around his eyes. This bead just fell on this face anyway, so I just left it where it was. So just pat it out into a kind of ovally shape. So this is where his eyes are going to be. Then I'm going to do another one the other side. This one I made slightly smaller. I don't think they have to be exactly the same size. It's not a lot smaller actually, looking at it here now. So just pat them out and make them flattish. Then I'm going to do his nose. So his nose is going to be like, what shape is it? A little triangle, I suppose. So it's going to be flat along the top, straight along the top, and then it's going to be pointing down into a triangle shape. This is quite awkward because I've not left myself a lot of room. I love him already, he's so cute. So that's his little nose. Now we're going to take a bead of white and we're going to create his belly. So don't push this bead right up to his head because there's going to be black around it. So just push it out, not all the way to the edges because we need to create his arms and his legs. So just, I suppose it doesn't matter if you dig all the way to the edges because we can just cover it with black acrylic, but try not to. So this is just his tummy. Then we're going to create his arms. So what you're going to need to do is pop a bead just slightly to the left of his tummy and create it into like a, is it an apostrophe shape, but the other way around. So just mould the acrylic up to his face and then just curve it round so that it looks like his hand or his paw is resting slightly on his tummy. This black is so pigmented it kept making the white bits grey, so I kept having to try and wipe it off. So you're going to do the same to the other side. Push the acrylic up to meet his head and then just make it into kind of like an upside down apostrophe shape, just so that it looks like his paws are slightly resting on his tummy. Now he's starting to take shape. So take a small bead and fill in the area under his chin. Don't fill it up too much because you still want his arms to stick out slightly over the top of it, if that makes sense. don't really want his arms to blend in with it. So now we're going to fill in the bottom. Just put a small bead of black and push it around the sides, just so that you've got a line of black underneath his tummy. Don't make it too thick, because we're going to put his legs on, and pandas are quite chunky, aren't they? So we don't want to make him too long and thin. I had to thin him out though because of the nail. But so to do his feet, we're going to just pop a bead of black onto the left and right side of him. His feet. So basically, these feet are just going to be his pads, or the bottom of his feet, basically. I said basically way too many times then. So just pat it out into an oval. Then you're going to do the same on the other side. We are going to paint on some detail with gel polish in a little while. I was going to do it with acrylic, but I was worried if I'd done it with acrylic, I was worried that I wouldn't make it detailed enough, so I thought we'd use gel polish. Doesn't he look cute already? Oh, I tried to... This is this pastel pink acrylic from Nao. I wanted to make his ears a little pinky, so I thought I'd just fill them up with a bit of pink acrylic, but the pink wasn't pink enough, and it just kind of looked, I don't know, it just looked like, it just looks silly. But we're going to go over it later with pink gel polish. So to create a little cane of bamboo, is it bamboo they eat? We're just going to put a small bead of green acrylic and mould it out into a sausage shape, a stick shape. I stabbed some little lines in it because bamboo kind of, it's got this funny effect on it, hasn't it? But it didn't quite work out how I wanted. Then I took a very, very wet bead of white and I popped it under his chin and down the side of his arm to try and create some shading so that his arms didn't get lost into his body, if you know what I mean. I don't know that I done a very good job here. I think I would have done better if I'd used a whitewash of acrylic paint, really. But you live, you learn, don't you? I just wanted to create some shading, really. I mean, it's not too bad, but it didn't turn out exactly how I wanted. But so we're going to take white gel polish, and we're going to need pink gel polish and some blue gel polish. So I'm just creating the whites of his eyes with the white gel polish. So I've cured that in the lamp. Now I'm taking black gel polish to create the blacks of his eyes. So each time you put a layer of gel polish on top of one another, cure it in a lamp so that it doesn't get lost, or not get lost, but smudge into each other. Now I'm just putting a little dot of white to create some shading or some lighting on his eyes. Is that the right word? I don't know. Just put a little white blob of white on his nose. Then you're going to create his little claws. Then using the pink, we're going to create the pads of his feet. So you're going to do one big circle and three little circles above the top, over the top of them. I found this bit easier to use my dotting tool. So then 3 little dots over the top to create his toes, sorry. Feet, what am I on about? Then I went over his ears that didn't look as pink as I'd liked. And then you create his mouth with the black gel polish. I tried to give him a little smiley mouth. I wanted him to be cute. Then I top coated him with matte top coat from Chinty's. I decided that I didn't want him to be all shiny. So just cover him with a thin layer. concentrate more on the areas where you put your gel polish. But do try and cover the whole lot of him, really. So this is before curing, and then this is after. How cute is he? I did decide that I wanted the bamboo cane to be a bit shinier, so I covered that in normal top coat, non-white, just so that it stuck out a little bit more. And that's it. So thank you for watching. If you did like this video, please leave a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. And don't forget to check out my giveaway video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!